Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a lap guide for the new lap time challenge taking place at Eiger Nordwind with the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 3. To access this lap time challenge, going over to sport mode, so make sure you have menu book number 9 completed to be able to access this mode. Click on online time trials and you'll see the current lap time challenges being held. So this lap time challenge goes on until March 26, 2025, where we're on the comfort soft tires and no, you cannot tune your car. Your goal is to go within the 3% time range of the world record time when the event ends, as that is when your lap time gets counted, and hopefully you'll be able to get to 2 million credits. I do have my in-game replay in the description down below if you want to check that out. And there are a couple things I want to mention about this specific lap time challenge, or this car that is. So with the Evo 3, you're only going to use second, third, and fourth gears. So you do not use first gear, you do not use fifth gear. The other thing is when to shift. Generally speaking, you're shifting right as the shift bar on the bottom of the screen fills up. You can take advantage of this piece of road on the left to give yourself a better setup to enter this final turn, so you can get really close to those white barriers on the left. And finally, when you're getting ready to start your new lap, shift up to fourth gear just before you cross the start finish line, because if you shift up gears just after you cross the start finish line, you lose a bit of time. So shift up just before you cross the start finish line, bring yourself towards the left, and for the first braking zone, you're looking for this rectangular piece that is on the left. So this is before the track marshals further up the road. You're going to use the very end of this rectangular piece as your braking point. So you're going to use all of your braking power and make your way down to second gear. You're turning in before the curb on the left ends, and you want to hug the living heck out of the curb that is on the right. So you see me do that in just a moment. Ease off of the brakes as you're turning in and just hug this turn. You can even see me coast for a moment, so I'm not even using the braking nor the throttle, and that's going to help me turn in a little bit more and get myself set up for the next hairpin. I briefly get on the throttle just so I can build up a bit more speed, but I open myself up for this hairpin right here, and I start to brake and turn in just as the curb on the right ends. I'm going to stay on second gear, and just like in the first hairpin, I'm going to hug this hairpin, coast for a moment, and gradually get back on the throttle. Don't be too aggressive, otherwise you do get wheel spin and you're just going to understeer like crazy. Then brake as soon as you reach the track marshal that is on the left. Use all of your braking power, go back down to second gear and hug this turn. Ease off of the brakes, even coasting for just a moment, and you see me fiddling around with the throttle to try to bring myself towards the right, because before you even reach this track marshal on the left, you're going to use around 50% braking power and start to turn in. So you swing yourself all the way to the left, shift up to third gear before you hit the apex. That way, when you get back on the throttle, you don't have to worry about shifting up. All you have to worry about is making sure you don't go off track. You're going to see that even here, I do a super quick lift off of throttle to let the car turn in just a little bit more, and this will help me make sure that I don't poke off of the track. Then bring yourself towards the left, shift up to fourth gear, and you're going to use the track marshals on the left as your next braking point. So use all of your braking power. You're going to start to turn in as soon as the guardrails on the left start. Make your way down to third gear. So here are the guardrails on the left. Start to turn in once you reach this point and start to slowly ease off of the brakes. So down to third gear, bring yourself all the way to the left, make use of the entire width of the track. And it's going to be right here where I let the car coast for just a moment, and that will let the car turn in a bit more. And then I'm going to gradually get back on the throttle, and that way I can get a fast exit and make sure I don't hit the wall on the left. Then stay towards the left. This part is where it gets really tricky. Right as you reach the dip, use around 50% braking power and turn in. So you're braking for a really brief moment here. So you're going to get close and personal with the wall on the right and gradually get back on the throttle. Don't be aggressive, just gradually get back on the throttle. That way you don't understeer onto the hill on the left. Give yourself a bit of space between yourself and the left side of the track because you want to try to take this left turn flat out. So if you're close to the middle of the track, you should be able to go through here flat out. Finally, you're going to brake well before you reach the apex of this mini left turn just up above. So you want to point your car towards this apex, use all of your braking power, go back down to third gear, and right after you pass the apex, that is where you start to turn in. So you're going to see me start to ease off of the brakes and turn in. So I'm doing quite a bit of trail braking here, and bring yourself as close as you can to the barriers on the left. You can even bring yourself all the way up to the road on the left. That is still part of track limits. But notice that I'm coasting for just a moment to let the car turn in a bit more. But as soon as I'm pointing towards those track marshals on the other side of the track, that is when I fully accelerate my way out. And because I'm on a really good lap, I'm going to stay on third gear and finish up the lap. But let's go through this again, but this time I am not going to stop the video. Alright, so starting before the final turn, brake before the apex of the mini left turn, bring yourself up to those white barriers, and go ahead and start to accelerate your way out. Shift up just before you start your new lap, bring yourself towards the left, brake at the end of the rectangular piece of tarmac, go down to second gear, and you want to really hug these hairpins. Brake right around here, so you're braking early for this hairpin, that way you can hug this hairpin nice and careful getting back on the throttle. Go towards the left, use the track marshal on the left as your next braking point, go back down to second gear, then brake right around here, 50% braking power and turn in, go back up to third gear and carefully accelerate your way out. Bring yourself towards the left side of the track, use the track marshals on the left as your next braking point and take advantage of the entire width of the track. That way you can give yourself a good exit, nice and careful getting back on the throttle. You don't want to time it too early so you don't end up hitting the hills. Stay towards the left, brake as soon as you reach the dip right here, 50% braking power, get close and personal to the wall on the left, and you want to try to take this turn flat out, then brake before the apex on the left turn right here, down to third gear, get close and personal to the wall on the left, and if you're on a really good lap, stay on third gear and finish up your lap. In a moment we'll go through this again, but this time we will be in bumper cams. So again, brake before this left apex right here, down to third gear, get as close as you can to those white barriers on the left. Before you start your new lap, shift up to fourth gear, then use the end of the rectangular piece right here. That's your first braking point. Go down to second gear, hug this hairpin, brake nice and early for the second hairpin. You want to hug these hairpins, then carefully get back on the throttle, bring yourself towards the left, use your track marshal on the left as your next braking point. Go back down to second gear, hug this hairpin, brake really early for this turn, turn in at the same time, exit on third gear, and be really careful getting back on the throttle so you don't go off track. Use the track marshals on the left as your next braking point. Take advantage of the entire width of the track and let the car coast for just a moment to let it turn in a bit more, and then accelerate your way out. For this right turn coming up, you're braking right at the dip and turning in at the same time. 50% braking power, nice and careful getting back on the throttle, and you want to try to go through this turn flat out, then brake before the apex of this mini left turn right here, down to third gear, try to get as close as you can to those white barriers, let the car turn in a bit more by coasting for just a moment, and if you're on a really good lap, stay on third gear. So with that, I was able to poke into the 114s, pretty happy with this lap time. It's a pretty fun but also a pretty tricky lap time challenge, but hopefully this lap guide helps you out. And if you like this video, you can press the like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. But this is Mr. MCA trying not to suffer from allergies, and I'll see you in the next video.